Doesn't work. Could be working now. Can somebody hear me out there? No, nobody can hear me. O lo escucho. Can somebody hear me? Can you guys hear me out there? Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Ricky. Thank you. Entonces. All right, let's start this. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the Watch Market Update Show. As you know, this channel is a public service watch announcement channel. Trying to help out there, all you guys are collectors, you collect watches and all that good stuff. But we try to bring you what's happening out there with the watch market, and what's happening with precious metal materials, and also a little bit of what's happening around the world, So we're going to be talking about those three things in this show today. Before I get into anything, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, for all of our efforts, that we, come, live to give you some information to make you guys a little bit aware of what's happening around the world with watches, precious metals, and what's happening with the world, the way it's behaving. So please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. All right, guys? I want to say, first of all, good evening to all of you. I'll keep on saying as you guys, come aboard. Good evening to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk about precious metal materials prices. And as of today, we have already some prices coming in from different parts of the world. And we have the troy ounce price of palladium at $1,465. We have platinum at $1,600 a troy ounce. We have silver, the troy ounce, at $48, and gold is at $4,106. You know, I mean, things are going bananas out there with precious metal materials. Everybody wants to make a dollar. You know, if it's not buying silver or gold or platinum or palladium or rhodium, people want to make money quickly by, selling something that has to do with precious metals, like, a spiral, a pan, that goes around that you can go look for gold, become rich, to melting machines. Now everybody's getting involved in melting machines for gold or silver. So they're pushing these two items like you won't believe it. I'm going to show you something because, I want you to see how people are making money in gold and in silver. Not just physical gold or physical silver, by having a product that you need, to be in the business of purchasing silver and gold. And I was very, very in shock. What I saw. And I thought maybe I can show it to you, because I've been telling you guys that everybody is making money somehow, some way with gold, in direct way or not in a direct way, but they're making money. Everybody's cashing in on this. And I'm going to show you a couple of things that it blew my mind when I saw it. And I said, I gotta show the subscribers this, because, this is getting out of control. This is what I'm going to show you here. This is the spiral pan, the spiral pan that you put there, the dirt, and this thing right here, it's electric. And for what I understand, they're selling this product like hotcakes, because everybody wants to become a tycoon selling, by getting gold, so they can sell and become a tycoon. So that's the spiral pan, it has, like I explained it to you one time. But I found the video. I said, let me show it to them so they know what that is. And it shows you how to get in the backyard of your house, your grandmother's house, your uncle's house, whoever it is, your friend's house, and you can find gold. They even give you the shimirikis to find where gold should be at. So, it's incredible that everybody is cashing in some way with gold. Okay, as you can see that, you're going to see there goes the gold right there, they make it look beautiful for you. And that'll cost you like like I said, $100 and something, $150 for that little thing going around in circles, But this one here also this is a casting line. I'm going to show you a casting line, and what they're asking for these machines is unbelievable. So let me show you this. Let me see if I have it already. I didn't get that on. Okay, I did. This is a casting machine right here to do silver, convert it into bullion, into little bars. And it's unbelievable what they're doing with these machines. They're selling it everywhere, It's not now just getting gold and selling it. Now it's buying machines so you can become a refinery, in your garage, in your house, so you can do little bars of silver. It's unbelievable what's happening. The world's going bananas. People going crazy. It's like the gold rush, but now it's the gold machines and gold spiral pan, electric machines, and all this good stuff, and it's showing you how they do it. Bam, bam. There it is, all the white stuff, the silver. Boom, pour it in there. Make it a nice, beautiful bar, with your initials, Sweet Kino, whatever your name is, They produce it for you. Boom. There's the machine. And people becoming rich with this, People becoming rich selling this machine. Es que esto es una cosa de loco. This is crazy what's happening. Check that out. Look at your bricks, huh? How's that? Isn't that beautiful? It's unbelievable. There's a machine. Boom. So that's for silver. You got for silver. And then it's, you keep on seeing these things, and you go, wow, it's just getting crazier and crazier and crazier. People want to, and this is the way you make money. This is it, whatever comes out first is whoever gets the first punch is the one that's gonna, you know, exactly. So listen, look at this one now. This is for the gold, for gold, for pure gold. And this one is, look at this one. Look at this. Pure gold. Boom, boom. Put it in there. It's crazy what's going on. You won't believe what's happening. Boom. It's like, I don't know, those, it's just crazy. People are making money like you won't believe it. And they tell you there, please call me. This is my phone number, blah, 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 blah. I'm doing this machine. I'm an engineer, blah, 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 blah. Crazy. Boom, there's your bars. It's unbelievable what they're doing. Guys, it's for real. Gold is here. Gold is here. Precious materials here. This is it. Exactly. Exactly, Damon. This is crazy. I told people this, and it's crazy. But as always, I showed you already 2 or 3 things, right? I always like to keep the ace of spades, I hold on to it to show you at the end. But ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe what I'm going to show you. You're not going to believe what I'm going to show you. And it's something, let me first talk to you a little bit about it. We have ATM machines, in public grocery stores, in the banks, gasoline stations, ATM machines to take out money, Saludos, papá. Saludos, Alex. We have ATM machines so you can take out money for, wherever, the gasoline station, the grocery store, all that good stuff. Banks, we depend on ATM machines, right? But these people from over there, from over there, these people, what they do, you have to give them credit always. And that's why I keep on saying that these people are on top of their game. While we're here playing around with a gun, saludos. While we're here playing with a gun, with a gold gun to identify if it's real gold and it's this and that, and playing with some acid, blah, blah, to make sure if it's, 10, 14, 18, 24, 22, whatever it is. These people somehow, they're always ahead of the game. They're always ahead of the game. And so they show a lady that she goes to an ATM machine. She sees an ATM machine. And I don't have the video of that, but I can tell you the story. The lady has saludos, Zoe. She's going to an ATM machine, and she's gonna go take out money. And what happened was one of her gold things fell off her wrist. It fell, and she was in the ATM. She thought it was an ATM, and I'm amazed with these people, guys. I mean, for real, I'm amazed that these people are so ahead of the game, and what they do, and they're so, how can I say the word? They're so disciplined. These people are so disciplined and so obedient, and they know how to follow instructions and all that good stuff. Let me just show you this, and we can talk a little more after I show you this, because this is just crazy what I'm going to show you now. I'm going to show you a couple of times. That's an ATM gold machine over there, in Chinjin. One more time, I'm going to show it to you because you guys have to see this, because you put your gold in there, the machine tells you what purification is, if it's 10, 14, 18, 24, and right there, that machine that machine right there, after you agree that you want to sell your gold, the machine tests the gold, that if it's 14, 24, whatever it is, you agree, they melt it right there. They melt it. The machine melts it right there. And right there, they pay you out. They pay you the money of what you have, in gold. They tell you first an estimate. This is how much gold you have. You're claiming is 14. You put it in the ATM machine. You put in there, bam. I have there this bracelet. It's 18 karat gold. I would like to sell it. Okay, we'll put it here. We want to see how much it weighs. After it weighs, you're saying it's 14. Okay, fine. We agree. This is what I'm going to pay you. They throw everything in the little ATM. It melts it. It tells them it is 14, like they said, and it is the amount. It has so much of grams, and they pay you right there. This is what's happening over there in China. They're going crazy over there. People selling gold in the streets. Let me show you one more time because, this is something that you stay, you te quedas. It's telling you there the gold, what it is, how much it weighs, and people that are making lines to sell their gold. This is what's happening with gold. So I'm showing you all that because I want you to know that if this is happening, around the world, it's what's happening. It's gold, it's gold. So gold and silver, gold and silver is what's happening. And I'm gonna tell you guys, I think I said to you my last live stream, I told all of you that gold should be hitting. This is what people allegedly, allegedly they're saying that silver should be hitting a mark of $80 a troy ounce. A troy ounce, not the bar. $80 a troy ounce on silver. And on gold, I don't want to. I'm happy that I made it to the 4,000 mark, and it's 4,000 plus already. But they're saying that gold, these big financing companies, these big, BlackRock and all these people, they're saying that Merrill Lynch, Wall Street, they're saying that this thing is. I just don't even want to say it no more, man. It's just going to go high. That's all. I don't want to say numbers and I don't want to be blowing smoke in nobody's, but they're saying that this is just really going to explode any moment, ladies and gentlemen. We spoke about that we have a shutdown in a government shutdown and basically we're going into, I believe this is the 27th day. And ladies and gentlemen, we have people out there that, ladies and gentlemen, there's no money out there, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you guys, this is going to be my new catchphrase. There's no money out there, man. There's no money out there. We have a lot of people having a lot of trouble. And this shutdown is becoming it's going to turn into chaos. It's going to turn into chaos. And I really believe that this shutdown is going to go into that, I don't know how you guys call it here. We call it here in the United States, we call it Thanksgiving Travel Day. Is it Thanksgiving Travel Day? I don't know. Traveling day for Thanksgiving. You're going to go see your mother, your auntie, your sister. You're traveling, They say they're going to take this shutdown onto Thanksgiving Day. That's what they say. But me, I'm going to tell you with all honesty, I'm going to say it again, not Turkey Day, not Thanksgiving Day. They want to take it the day that you're going to catch your Eastern Airlines flight, your Pan American flight, that day, traveling day. I think it's Wednesday, right? Wednesday, Tuesday, the people going crazy. They're running all over the place through the airport, taking a t-shirt, I love the beach, whatever it is, you're traveling. And they're saying that this is going to go to that day, the day that people are running all over the place, that we're going to have chaos. They want to bring chaos to our country with this shutdown, because we have, like I told you, and I keep on telling you, man, you got two parties. You got the blue, you got the red. I don't care which one you like. Es la misma mierda. It's the same shit with different smell. I don't care what you guys believe. Both of them play good cop, bad cop, good cop. And they're going at it, ladies and gentlemen. They're going at it, and they're not. You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say, Damon. You're a very sharp man. But people, when I tell them that, because I don't want people to think that this channel, no. I don't care about blue and I don't care about red. They're fighting. One says this, one says that. One says they wanna do this, they don't want to do that, they want to give this. And it's a lot of things happening, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody's running out of money. The shutdown continues. People depend on food stamps to feed their family. They depend on WIC, on WIC and all that good stuff. And nobody is giving in. Nobody's giving in. People are just, fighting among each other. We have that SNAP, the SNAP, for food to give people. 41 million people depend on that. 41 million people depend on getting that turkey. They're not going to get it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have traffic controllers. They're not getting paid. Air traffic controllers, TSA. No WIC. No SNAP. TSA. ¿Qué más quieren? TSA. I don't understand what's going on. But then again, they don't want to approve this. They're voting against it. They don't want to give the money to this, to that. But then they're giving out money to let's say, listen to me. I don't have a problem if we help out the whole world. But before you help out the whole world, you need to help out our world, our country, our people. You need to help our people first. These people don't have no soul. And I'm talking about the government. I don't care about thunder, lightning today. I wish they'd just shut me off right now. But these people don't have no soul. They don't care. They just want to feed on the power. They want to feed off power. But they don't care if your children goes to bed without drinking his toma, his leche, his milk, his formula. They don't care. But then they're giving out $40 billion to Argentina. Unbelievable, beautiful help. $40 billion to Argentina. Then you're giving also another $130 billion to Ukraine. Y el país está todo descojonado. We're bad. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not nice. It's not nice that they're giving all this money out and these people don't have supplemental nutrition, para alimentarse. But there's nothing for us because they have it for this month of October. When it goes into November, they don't have the funds. This is what these motherfroggers say. This is what these motherfroggers say. In November, we don't have the resources, we don't have the money to give out to the 41 million Americans that use SNAP, that depend on SNAP, But then you have another 22 billion to give to Israel. So right there I counted 130 billion, 22 billion, and $40 billion. But next month, you don't know if you're going to have money to help out all these people, waiting for their turkey. La cosa está todo jodida. And people saying that we're all right. La situación está jodida, muchacho. There's no money out there, Exactly. I mean, this is crazy what's going on. And people, they want to continue skip hopping around through life like, hey, man, the watch market is beautiful. Okay, it's beautiful. Wait till you see the watch market I have tonight so you can see how beautiful it is. Because they ain't selling nothing. Nothing. They're selling amongst each other to hype up the price, to make a balloon, to make an artificial number for you people. Para ustedes los lambones. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not nice that you're home sitting down and you're waiting for the U.S. mail, to give you your mail, and when you get there, you get a mail from your health care, your health care. and you were paying $350 for your premium. Listen to me. This is all allegedly. This is all allegedly, you know? But you're paying $350 for your health care, you know, your premium, $350. But suddenly, these are people that, you know, they're waiting for the SNAP, for WIC, you know, food stamps. These are people that live like that. And they're paying $350 for their premium. And suddenly when they open that letter, you know what I'm saying, Luxury. You're a smart man. You know what I'm saying. I need some water. I need some water. Some water. So you're sitting down in your recliner, you know, your recliner. You're 60 years old. You have some kind of disability, you know, for whatever reason it is. Amén. A toda esa gente. Amén. Amén a todos ellos. You got some kind of disability, you know, you probably served over there in El Golfo, you know, in Golfo, in Iraq. You know, you serve. You serve for the United States of America, and now you depend that our government take care of you because he took care of us over there, you know, in Desert Storm somewhere. You know what I'm trying to say? Please help me out. And he's sitting in his recliner, and he's waiting for the mail to come in, you know, with a couple of quarters, you know, so he can buy a couple of things. And the first letter he gets is from his health care. And the premium that he pays is $350. And now when he opened the letter up, it's $950. No comas mierda. Pero how? How is this happening to us in this country? Forget about what you think. Why aren't they working? Well, listen, they're not working because they have some kind of an issue. And I support them. How's that? And I support them. Because these people son americanos. These people are here. They were born here. They're served in our country. And then these people are giving out 40 million to Argentina, you know? Argentina, you know Argentina. The song, that lady, you know, Argentina, you know, 40. It's beautiful. Help out Argentina. Help them out. Give them all the money you want. But help out first our people in this country. And then you're giving 130 to Ukraine. And you're giving 22 to Israel. ¿Qué caso es eso? ¿Pero qué es eso? So we have these things that are going on, and this is why I keep on telling you, because I made a live stream on Friday, and they asked me, so what is your formula? What is your formula for giving a watch market update, for giving prices on precious metal? Well, I'm telling you what is my formula. That's my formula. You know, there's no money out there. People are broke. People are broke. La gente está pasmado. People are suffering. You know, everything is slowed down. Construction, which that's what I'm in, is slowed down. Está malo, you know, things are not well out there. And these people, they don't have no more arsenal to attack you. If you believe them, it's because, you know, it's like you telling me, how can I say, what can I give you an example? It's like you guys believing that astronaut in 1966, he was floating in the air, with the thing, and he's floating up there in 1966. If you believe that, then tú estás enfermo. If you believe that the astronauts were floating up there outside the capsule, you know, floating around, I'm trying to be serious. I can't be serious, man. You know, or the guy that, you know, that landed in the moon and they're driving around in the Toyota, you know, the Toyota 280ZX, you know, in the moon. If you believe that, then you believe that everything is well in our country, you know, Buzz, then you believe that. You never, I mean, you know what I'm trying to say. Empty. Listen to me. You're not going to believe this. I went my wife took me to the mall, and I haven't seen the mall empty in years. And you say, well, how do you say that there's no money? There's no hay dinero. Money has run out. I went to the mall. It was empty. You know, I'm looking around in this store. I went by Saks. I went by Macy's. I went by Nordstrom, you know, Neiman Marcus, empty. Papi, no hay dinero. There's no money. Stores are closing. And you guys are still thinking that the watch market is running. But no, listen to me. Don't wait for this thing to keep on dropping more and more and more. You know, we are a small community that collect watches. You know, that we like watches. We like this. Somos así. We know all each other. That's how small it is. But you know, there's other things out there that you know they're more important, and you know, people are still skip hopping around. And the thing is, I'm gonna say something to exactly. It's on the rise. I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm gonna talk about here, Miami, Florida. Here, Miami, Florida. Anybody is Cuban out there, Latino, Puerto Rican, Dominican, whatever you are, I want you to hear this. You know, we have people that live in this city, in this state, and they have worked for 40 years, 50 years, and when they retire, they get a humble check of $800 a month of SS, Social Security, right? You understand me? And you got people that are coming into our country, they no han disparado un chícharo, have not worked a day in this country, or in Miami, Florida, have not worked one day. And those people get $1,500 a month. They get food stamps. They get Medicaid, Medicare, whatever you want to call it. And those people that have been here for 50 years, they get this. They get this. Deep. They get this. And you know what? I'm mad as hell, and I ain't going to take it anymore. I'm mad as hell, and I ain't going to take it anymore. You understand me? How can that be that you come from a different part, you know, to our country to say that you're coming here because you can't handle no more, you know, what's happening over here, the dictatorship over there, you know, all those countries. You know what I'm trying to say. You know, you go to Cuba. Let's start with Cuba so we break the ice correctly. You know, Cuba. In Cuba, you got Venezuela, you got Nicaragua. You got all these countries, you know, it's unbelievable. Then they come over here, listen to this, they come over here and they get all the benefits that my mother never saw. Poquito jungle juice, porque estoy coño, a little jungle juice, guys. My mother never saw that, man. My mother never saw somebody, you know, giving out money, $1,500 a month. Supplemental, you know, healthcare. And none of these people that live here in Miami, they've been here for 40, 50 years, they ain't got nothing. But this is the punchline. And this goes to all those countries that come over here after they're getting all that money. It calms me down. You know it, Damon. It calms me. Me baja, bro. La presión. Quiero dame la pastilla del corazón. La verde. La verde para el corazón. So what happens is, check this out, guys. And then you see them. They come over here. They got a big, fat, you know, dog chain, you know, around their neck. You know, of course, you don't have a problem. You don't worry about, you know, room and board. You know, no hay dinero, papi, tú lo sabes, Doc. Tú sabes que no hay dinero, no hay chavo, papi, no hay chavo. Está jodida la situación. Somos unos mocosos. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you the punchline because I cannot control myself, you know. I cannot control myself, you know. And then they got all those benefits, and you see the people here, you know, especially the Americans, real, you know, red-blooded Americans. They're looking from far away. Hey, how is this? Is an injustice, you know? Bill was only getting, you know, Bill, his name Bill. Bill was only getting $1,100 a month in Social Security, and you know, and he also has a couple of things going on, you know, with the Army and this and that. And this is how we're making ends meet. And these people got here yesterday, and they've been here for 90 days, ladies and gentlemen. And once they settle down, Remember, they came in here running from dictatorship, communism, socialism. They can't live well, no food, no house, no medicine, no health, no hay nada. And they say then, you know what? Martita, Marta, Martica, sácame los pasajes, give me some tickets, some airline tickets. We're going to go back to Havana, Cuba. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen, Unbelievable. We're going to go back to Havana, Cuba. We're going to go back to Nicaragua. We're going to go back to Venezuela. You come over here, you take those people that have worked so much. You know what? I'm wrong. I'm going to include myself. Me, you take, me. You're taking my money and you're taking it back to the place you said that you left because you couldn't take no more socialism, communism, dictatorship, following you, watching you, hearing you, the baloney stuff, and you taking the money back over there to spend it over there. And then they start making a house over there in Cuba. They start making a house in Venezuela. They start making a house in Nicaragua. Papi, no me jodan. No. Aflojen, papi, aflojen. Yo hablo parejo. Yo hablo parejo. I talk in the same level. Whoop, for everybody. I don't care about no colors. I don't care what party you belong to. If it's the red or the blue. I don't care what party. Es la misma mierda con diferente peste. Same shit with different smell. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be quiet in a corner so you don't hurt nobody's feeling. You don't want to hurt the housekeeper's feeling. I'm talking about myself now. You got to be quiet and look around, ding, 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 ding. But I'm going to keep on giving you the punchline because you guys say that the world is doing well. The economy is well. We're not in a recession. We don't have inflation. We don't have nothing. We have all the money in the world. Just on October the 25th, we hit the highest number ever. $38 trillion. 38 ¿cómo se dice eso? Trillones, $trillion. Estamos jodidos. Está bien para dentro. When it was here, it was all right. When it was here. Right there. Then it went like that. Y se fue. Se fue todo. Se jodió todo. Se jodió todo. Se jodió todo. And I'm looking around and I'm seeing everything, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, you know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say, Damon. You know what I'm trying to say. So then, you see that and you're sitting there. Me, because, this is a character I play here. But in real life, in real life, I'm just looking from far away. And I said, this is crazy. This is crazy. These motherfroggers haven't worked a day in this country, have not contributed to the United States federal income tax, whatever you want to call it. And these motherfroggers are getting $1,500 a month with all the food, with, room and board, a nice bed, AC, air conditioning. These people have never had air conditioning in their life. And when they come here, they say, I want AC. But here goes the punchline, ladies and gentlemen. We have a man here in the United States of America, from this town, right here, from this town. This town, his name is Marquito Rubio. Marquito Rubio. Marquito Rubio was giving parrot in the ear to the guy in Pennsylvania Avenue. Marquito, una posición brutal. He has a position that he is Pennsylvania Avenue's lap. He's like a pet. It's like a pet there next to him. You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say, luxury gentlemen. Please help me out. Write it down if you want, please. Contribute with something. Say something there, Increíble. So Marquito Rubio sits in Pennsylvania Avenue's lap. and he gives him parrot, cotorra, le da cotorra. And he told Pennsylvania Avenue, you know, Mr. President, those Michiganders that come from all those different countries claiming that they're leaving because oppression, they can't take no more the pressure, and they're smacking them around, and no food, no this. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He told that to the guy from Pennsylvania Avenue. He said, for real? He said, for real. He told them, I'm going to give you the biggest example in the world. Marquito told the guy from Pennsylvania Avenue. And he said, what's that? My parents. My parents work here cleaning, the bathrooms over there in the Columbus Hotel, the Everglades Hotel in downtown. You understand me? All those hotels that our parents remember about those hotels when they were cleaning beds and all that stuff. And his parents get $800 a month. Luckily, their son is an incredible political figure. I'm sure that today he's taking care of his parents. So he told them all that, and he told them the secret of all the people coming over here getting $1,500 a month and food and all that good stuff. And you know what Pennsylvania Avenue did? Papi, when I tell you this, you're not going to believe me. And I have people here that know what I'm saying. We're not talking about, listen to this BS. We're not talking about elderly ancianos. We're not talking about ancianos or elderly people. We're talking about people that are 25 years old, 24 years old, 27 years old, 30 years old. You know what I'm saying? And they're sitting home the whole day making, videos on Kit Kat and on the gram, and making videos here, fat chains and all that. So after Marquito let the law down, he told the guy from Pennsylvania Avenue, hey, listen, this is what's going on. This is a racket what they have with us over here. Oh, yeah? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this. This is when I tell you that the stores are empty. You're going to understand why. I mean, you know how many people were coming here to Miami on a daily basis, before they closed, the gates, like 180,000 people, papi. Un montón, papi, ayúdame, tú sabes más que yo, papi. Tú sabes más, estás jodiendo más que yo. No tengas miedo, tíralo para la calle. And ladies and gentlemen, so 180,000 people. There's people that can't even fix their front tooth. There's people that can't even get eye vision glasses. These people that have, many different, things happening in their health. And they can't because they're giving all the money to all these people. Yo soy parejo, papi, parejo. Everybody parejo. So Marquito, he told them all that story. And the guy from Pennsylvania Avenue, he laid the law down. Ta! No more. You got to go to work. And now those stores, those stores they like to go to, that we all like to go. I go there too. How's that? All right? So you guys don't misunderstand me, They like to go to Ross, TJ Maxx, Marshalls. You hearing me, Marshall? I'm giving you guys some propaganda for free, Ross, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, Burlington, all that good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. You understand me? They're all there. And they're all there, ladies and gentlemen. Y se llena la camisa de citación. And so, guys, please be careful the way you're spending your Christmas money, your tuition, your children's tuition money, El Sedano, el Presidente, el Bravo, all that stuff. Those are supermarkets. Those are Latin supermarkets. They're here in Miami because, we live here in Miami, and it's like basically like little Cuba. I don't know if you guys know that, but in this part where we live at, esto es una comunidad latina. A little bit of jungle juice because I'm getting my heart. Dame la pastilla verde. And these people want to keep on blowing you guys with the same system. We're going to unbox our watch. We're going to show you the strap. We're going to show you the new Breitling. We're going to show you the new Seiko. No, papi, dejen eso ya. Ayuden la gente. Ayuden la gente. Help people out. Wake them up. Let's not continue dumbing down on people. The people in downtown that I know, they told me, papi, this is gross. Now, the crazy thing is that even the pawn shops, they're pawning watches and all that, they're afraid. They don't even know how to play on a loan, what to do with a loan, because they're saying to themselves, you know, I'm doing a loan 5-10%, right? We're going to go to 5 to 10% on a watch. But they don't know if those people are going to come back to get the watches. The pawnbroker doesn't know if this thing continues dropping and continues dropping. My friend told me that he had watches there that he tried so many times. I'm going to use a name so you understand me. He tried calling Kino, like he says something, I only call max two times, and that's it. I sell it and that's it. Or I melt it and scrap and that's it. He's tried calling people 15, 20 times because he's upside down with Jose Feliciano. He's upside down with what he bought. He knows because he already did an exam. He called Kino up. He called Juan. Hey, Juan, you know, what do you think about this, papi? This costs this, but how can it cost this? I gave $2,000 more on a loan. You know, está jodido. So they don't know what to do. So it's a catch-22. Even pawnbrokers don't know what to do. So now papi, I explained to you something the other day. And if you're smart, you go, coño, it does make sense what Juan is saying. I have a gentleman here on this channel. I'm not going to use his name or none of that. But he heard what I said when I told him that, you know, silver, not gold, but silver, pawn shops were paying 5% under the spot, you know, the spot price of silver, right? And then I told you that the refineries are paying 10% under the spot price of silver, right? I told you that. So why ain't you going to believe what I'm telling you about pawn shops? You know, Vega pawn shop, Jose Feliciano pawn shop, you know, Kino pawn shop. They say, what do we do here? So these people are already saying, we're going to pay you 10% under. And the person that you know, he wrote me something, he did an investigation. He did an investigation and he said, coño, what Kino said is for real. These motherfuckers are not paying you spot what it is. No, we're not. They're not. That's silver, but what I'm trying to say is, imagine a pawnbroker that he's, you know, he probably has $100,000 in the safe to pawn. You know, he's just, you know, he's a pawnbroker that you know, pawns bongos, you know, drums. You know, chapter 32, Damon, you know what I'm trying to say. Chapter 32, you know. And so they figure it out. They say, coño, what Kino said is true. They're not paying us top dollar for this. They're not. And that is who? That's basically a memo coming from the ICA. You know, somewhere, you know. It's coming from somewhere. So this is what's going on. People are scared. They're scared. And people are still, you know, thinking that, you know, this watch costs $100,000. Papi, $100,000, you got to be a very, very wealthy individual. Very wealthy. But Tom, Dick, and Harry, you know, he can't be playing, you know, with those kind of marks. This is why as soon as those people, they took away all those customers, se jodieron. As soon as Deputy Boxing Black Eyes lost all those customers, that's it. Ahora vender, sell a watch making $500 and $1,000. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not the same no more. It went upside down. Se jodieron. You don't see them making no more content. You don't see them talking about the restaurant with the lobster, with the shrimp, the new car, the Maybach. You can't. You can't. That's all back already in the dealer. They came and picked it up. Vamos, que esto se jodió. Aquí no hay cama para tanta gente. There's not enough beds here for many people. You know, we have a couple of beds. You know, we have in downtown a place that, you know, it picks up the homeless, shelters, right? And it's unbelievable because it's like that. And it's the truth. And you will say, how does that happen? But it happens. When you go to one of those shelters, they probably have 100 beds, you know, and they have a cutoff time from this time to that time. That's it. And if you stay out there and it's full house, they tell you we don't have no more beds. So you got to go sleep out there. Eso es así, papi. I'm trying to open up your horizons para que puedan ver mejor, para que no sigan en lambones. You 17 people, your job is to pass the word out. Not my word, your word. You put it the way you want to put it. Está jodido. Ese downtown Miami está, is like done. La gente está que se quieren comer. And you can't because everybody's involved in one thing. And what is it? Precious metal. Everybody's involved in precious metal. It's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. It's the truth. I'm telling you, people are selling machines, you know, refinery to refine gold, refine silver, you know, spiral pans going in circles. You want to see it again? Let me show it to you again. You need to see this, ladies and gentlemen. Aquí no se habla fantasía. We don't talk fantasy here. We speak the truth. People are selling this, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy. Look what they're selling. Look what they're selling. So you can become a tycoon. So you can become a tycoon. There it is. Give me $150 for that pan. This guy's going to become a multimillionaire selling that. You know? And then, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you guys saw this, but you need to see this. You need to see the ATM gold machine. It's unbelievable. Esos chinos son una jodienda. Son brillantes. Son brillantes. Los otros somos unos satélites. Esa gente están en otra cosa. Those people over there in Xinjiang, they're for real. They got an ATM. You put there your gold. You drop it in there. You take this off. You put it in the top. It tells you how many carats it has, how much it weighs, and how much they're going to pay you for it. You don't have to put, you don't have to worry. No. The machine tells you everything. It's 18 karat gold. It has 26 grams. We pay you this much. Press the button, yes or no. Ta, here's your money. Get out of here. Gold, pure silver, the white stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, they have these machines. They're putting it all over the place. We send it all over the world. You want one in Miami, we put it in your garage, and you can become a refinery. You know? Papi, gold is going to explode. Silver is going to explode. One more time. Silver is going to explode. It's going to be the new gold. Silver is going to be the new gold. Me duele el corazón, Kino. Me duele el corazón. Estoy hablando muy alto. I'm talking too loud. Kino tells me, slow down. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. Look at silver. All that scrap. Look at this. Look at this. This is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. McChicken. Jacob McChicken. Look at this. Watch the way this comes out. You're going to go, esto es una jodienda, una locura. Es una locura. Miren esto, muchachos. You know, you got to become a distributor selling these machines. I think I'm going to get out of the stone business and sell these machines. Esto es un palo. Look at that. Mira la granilla. La granilla del silver. Look at this. Look at this. You're talking about a $200,000 machine. $300,000. You make a nice cut. Look at this. A sandwich. Like candy machine. Look at that. Like the chocolate, chocolate factory. Unbelievable. Look at that. And you know what you can put there? You can put there the name Dr. Evil. Mr. Donut. You can put whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, for all of you, silver is going to be the new gold. When they start working, with that silver and putting the right chemicals in it so it can shine for real, it won't get, dirty easily. La plata se pone fea, se pone negra. Tú entiendes lo que te estoy hablando. When they get it together, when they purify it for real and they put it fine and they make it look like a mirror, papi, esto se va a joder. Porque el oro va a ser para el gobierno, because gold is going to be for the government, bro. Listen to this machine, another one. Look at this one. Because you guys didn't see this. You guys got to see it to believe it. You got to see it to believe it. Like Crazy Eddie would see it. Es una jodienda. They're selling machines. You know the pressure that has? The pressure that has? And it comes out like magic. You say, oh my God, this is crazy. This is crazy. Look at this. Look. Kino, no te metas. No te metas en esto, Kino. No te metas. There it is, guys. There it is. There's your sandwich. If you want the machine, we got it for you. We send it to any part of the United States. These people are selling these machines like you won't believe it. Everybody, and then they use the right words. You want to be a tycoon? You want to be a gold tycoon? We have it here for you. Papi, una jodienda. I think Mr. Donut and Dr. E should get together and buy a machine. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Papi, esto se jodió. No hay dinero, papi. El negocio de los relojes se jodió. Ya no hay. Those people from 47th Street, papi, those people, you have to admire them, man. You have to admire them, what they're doing, because they know how to do the crossover quickly. They do the crossover. They do a crossover. You know what, papi? Let's all go this way, leave the watches alone, but we know where the money is at. Did you hear that? We know donde está la astilla. We know donde está la astilla. And it's here. It's here. And that's it. They're all running. Listen to me, Uncle Johnny, Eddie Monster. You're not going to believe this. Uncle Johnny, Eddie Monster. You know that guy? He sells watches. He made a crossover already, ladies and gentlemen. He made a crossover. He takes one of those Monopoly bills, a dollar, not a real dollar, a fake dollar, but a dollar. And in that dollar has a window, and he put a little piece of pure gold. And he's saying, call me at 1-888-555-555. We have for you the goods. And operators are answering and taking orders. Papi, you have to give credit to that. I might say this, but then I have to say, no, I have to give him credit. Los Lambones, that over there, Los Lambones, Deputy Boxing Black Eyes, the Puerto Rican Charlie Brown, Jiminy Cricket with the Chia Pet spray can hair, Dora the Explorer, the mad scientists, they haven't got the memo. They're still thinking we're going to sell an FP Journe. We're going to sell an FP Journe for $200,000 and we're going to make $100,000 profit. Esto vas a coger. Even the rich people got smart, ladies and gentlemen. They got smart. They know it's a sucker's bet. The watches. It's a sucker's bet. You know, see, you like it for yourself, but if you're thinking you're gonna make money, papi, the only way you're gonna make money is to catch these people when they're falling. You know, when you're falling, when you have a watch, can you pay $15,000? And I tell you, I pay you for that watch. No, because nobody wants to buy it from me. I pay for $15,000 and I'm trying to get as close as I can to $15,000. I got some sad news for you, Papa. If that guy offer you, like you said, he offered you $9,000 for that watch, man, go over there. But why? I can't even pay you $9,000. People are gonna pay for those watches $5,000, $4,000. ¿Tú no me lo crees? Está bien. ¿Tú no me lo crees? Está bien. I mean, I'm gonna give you guys a watch market update because that's what you guys are here for. So we're gonna start with this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna give you a Rolex stainless steel. It's coming, papi. You see, when I'm trying to get out of it, somebody writes to me, it's coming, Dr. Evo, it's coming. Everybody is concentrated where you're concentrating at, which that is gold. I see you more, I mean, I don't see you, I can see you more involved. You, Dr. Evo, I see you more involved in what's precious metal than what a watch is. You know, you got the memo. No. Watches were there. They were in the front line. Listen, I had a video that I did last year. It was from a fake, a clone, a Rolex Sky Dweller, 18 karat gold. Man, it was a beast. You know, it was made over there somewhere, one of those factories. It was all solid gold, but it was fake. It was fake. But it was real gold. What we need today, real gold. And man, the guy, I told the guy, and I knocked myself in my head, and Kino, we said, what a mistake we did, man. Because it happened right at that moment when boom, it took off. It was like that guy was giving us a gift, you know? And he was asking for it $13,000. $13,000. I mean, if you guys, I did a video on this, and I told the guy, I said, Kino, told the guy that we'll give him 11.5, you know, cash. Boom, right there. No questions asked, le damos dinero. And the guy said, he said no. You know, he said no. Well, so you understand what I'm trying to say. It had like around 170 grams. 170 grams. If I would have bought it, I'm asking Dr. E or Damon or Mr. Dona, if I would have paid them the $13,000, you know, 18 karat gold, 75% almost pure, right? 75%, 18 karat gold. How much money would that been today? If we would have it there, how much? How much? How much money would that? Thank you, Bobby. Thank you very much. Gracias, Papa. How much money would that be? 170 grams in today. Somebody help me out, please. Would I make money? Yes or no? But I put myself, I said, you know, I don't know. And right there, I'm talking about a month later, boom, 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 go. About 14. Okay, about $14,000. Okay. No, Bobby, it had 170 grams. Thank you. So you saw the video. Thank you, Soda. You saw the video. You know, and so, you know, you don't know what's going on. And these people are getting creative from 47th Street. These guys, listen, man, I'm going to give them all a shout out. My respect to all of you. What you guys are doing is unbelievable, and keep it up. You know, I might make jokes on you guys, on Mazalito, you know, Toothless Guy, the Genie, Zimbat, you know, tú sabes, all these people, the subway train jumper. No, it's even more. But these people, they know what they're doing. We have these people in downtown. They make their videos, you know, some of them have, you know, Jose Feliciano glasses, and they're still talking about El Jefe, Patek Philippe 5980. There you go. Now you go. And you're talking about this, and you know, no. It was guys. When I said 170 grams, it was naked, no movement. We took out the movement. We took out the crystal. We took out everything. A real 170 grams, 75% pure is 18 karat gold, right? My question is, if I would have given $13,000 for the watch, would have I made money? Yes or no is my question. That's what I'm saying. I thought I could have made money, you know? I mean, I think I could have made money. But you got all these people pushing watches, and you look at them and say, what are they talking about? And then you got the two toddler body brothers, the two toddler body brothers selling tickets, for this watch, for that watch. Listen, that guy, you have to give him credit too, because that's, okay, but yes, okay, thank you. That guy, you have to give him credit, because if you guys are lambones and lollipops and you guys are paying, $5, $10 for a ticket to win a Patek Philippe, 59, whatever you want to call it, one of those crazy numbers, that's your problem. That's not their problem. This is why, how many stores in downtown have had to leave? I got to get out of here. From the first floor, I got to go to the 5th floor. I got to go to the 8th floor. I got to go to the 9th floor. People they can't take it no more. So you have people that are doing these kind of content, and they did a crossover from the American. If you notice, the two toddler body brothers, they did a crossover from the American audience to, to the Latin people. Los cubanazos con el caderón, el consorte, el baboso. El babosongo. ¿Tú entiendes? El hacer, el consorte, el caballo, el monina. Guys, look at me like I'm crazy. There you go. Papi, those people don't have a problem. Those people, that company you say, that name you just finished saying, those people, they're on another level. They're on another level. Those people, too much money, too much money. Guys, let me give you a watch market update so you guys could, or should I do a watch market tomorrow? Should I do a watch market tomorrow? Tell me yes or no, and I'll do it tomorrow. So I can get out of here. I want to go do something else, Okay, I missed a 3K profit. Thank you. Thank you very much, Alex. I missed a 3K profit, right? Anyway, guys, I think I touched everything for you guys. Okay, for tomorrow. All right, guys? I hope you guys, enjoy this and get smarter. Don't let these people keep on selling you wet dreams. Don't buy no more wet dreams. All right, guys? Tomorrow we'll talk. All right? Take care. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. All right, guys? Don't forget that, all right? Please don't do that. Don't forget. Anyway, guys, it was fun. Take care and brush your hair. Good night, guys. Ciao.